Okay guys, I came out to my garage a little bit ago and tried to open it, and it only opened part way, and I wasn't sure what was going on, but after a little bit of research I figured out that I had a broken spring, and once I thought to look up, here's what it looked like. Okay, so there's my broken spring. As you can see, it's separated in the middle. That's what a good healthy spring is supposed to look like. This one broke, it unwound, and doesn't work, and so now the garage door does not go up all the way. So I got online, did a little bit of research, and found out that it's actually not that hard to replace this broken spring and get everything back in working order. I used a company called GarageDoorNation.com and bought the replacement spring. Actually, I bought two of them, two replacement springs, two new bearings for either end of the bar, and I'm going to show you how to replace it. So this is actually what happens when you try to open a garage door with a broken spring. As you can see, it opens partway, doesn't like it, and then falls back down. So here's everything that I should need to complete the job. I've got my two brand new springs. I've got an 8-foot cable assembly for both sides of the door, so there are two of those. Two brand new bearings for the end. I've got a new center bearing, two bars to be able to unwind the springs with, a 7/16 and a 9/16 socket, and a vice grip, and then of course a pair of gloves to keep the hands clean. Okay, so the instructions that came with the pieces that I bought all indicated that we should be using a 7/16 for loosening these nuts, and unfortunately 7/16 does not fit. So I'm going to go ahead and use a wrench instead. 7/16 didn't fit, 1/2 inch didn't fit, 12 millimeter, 13 millimeter, nothing fit. So we're going to use this instead. We're just going to improvise a little. By the way, you should never try this without actual winding bars. It fits correctly, it works easily. Okay, so once you've got it loosened, the tension will be released and you no longer will have to use the bars. Okay, so the next step is to take off the springs themselves. We're just going to use in this case, 14 millimeter socket. And we're going to just undo this. Alright, and the next job is to get the springs off of the center bar here. Sometimes the springs do get stuck on the notches that you can see from when it was last tightened on. If it is, we'll just get a file and file that down so that we can actually get these off. And actually in this case, I was able to just slide it past. Do the same thing on the other side. And that's that. One of the things that you'll notice is that there is a little center bearing here. This is a little plastic one. We're going to replace that with an actual metal bearing, and that way everything will just turn that much better. Okay guys, so we have our drum here connected to the bearing plate there. We're going to replace the bearing plate, and that way we have a nice new bearing in there. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the drum bolts, and again, I'm just using my wrench for that. So So get those nice and loose so that it can come all the way off. It should slide free. And we'll get the nuts off here.
Once those are loose, they'll just come off using your hands.
Actually, I need to go loosen the other side. I didn't loosen that side before trying to pull the side out. So, gotta go loosen that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I have both sides loose now. Should be able to just slide this back. And it's making a liar out of me. There we go. So the drum comes off first. And then the spring. Alright, now that we have the spring off, we're going to put the new spring on, put on our new bearing plate. That thing's going to pop right off. As a matter of fact, let me just show you how. Alright, so there's the old bearing plate. I'll put the new one on in just a minute, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, so we've got our replacement springs mounted here. So now all that's left to do is go ahead and tighten these down. So we're going to show you how to do that. And again, you want to make sure that you're doing this with the proper bars. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to use our winding bars. And we're going to wind this thing up. We're told 29 times. We'll see how that goes. 29 quarter turns, that is, for this 7-foot door. So I'm going to start by hand. Go, make sure these are loose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so now we're going to tighten up the screws, the set screws. And now we'll do the other side. Okay guys, so moment of truth. We'll see if this actually worked. I've got my springs up there mounted and tensioned. I've got the drums remounted with the cables. We'll see if this works. If it works, we'll have a properly balanced garage door that I can lift up very easily, and we'll go up and come back down without any hassle. So let's see what happens. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Very nice. All right. All right, feels good. I hear a little bit of binding over here, so I may need to lubricate those wheels on the track, but so far so good. Let's see if we can get the opener to work with it. We'll just re-engage it, and we'll see what happens here. Very, very nice. Score. All right, well, thank you to GarageDoorNation.com. Your tools worked, springs work, everything's great. Thank you for the instructions. And that's it, guys. Thanks very much. All that's left for me is to bring in the junk from outside, put it back inside where I was working. Have a good night.